Net loss, decreasing sales, receiving bad customer reviews, high customer returns. Did Amazon suspend your account or poor account health? Encountering these things and other negative experiences in your business will make you question yourself. Is selling on Amazon really right for me, or should I just give up? Stay tuned, because today in this video, I'm going to re-empower ourselves and continue fighting on in the Amazon game. Hi guys, if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson and I've been selling on Amazon now for 4 years. And just like some of you, I've encountered situations where I've questioned my whole Amazon journey to the point where I've wanted to give up. Now, if you are on the brink of giving up your Amazon business, and I must say I've been there many times myself, see the dark side of Amazon video, and I'll drop a link just up there, then this is the video for you. Business is tough, and as a business leader, we need to stay strong and overcome these problems that we face. This is simply part of the job of being a business leader in today's world. Now today, I want to share with you some videos from someone who I follow closely that has helped me in those tough times. His name is Simon Sinek. He is a renowned motivational speaker, and I must say that his videos have helped me to stay motivated during the tough times for my Amazon business. Now, for the first video, Simon Sinek discussed the big picture of our work, how our work is bigger than us. Let's go into it now.
When I was writing Leaders Eat Last, I got to the point where I couldn't do it. It was too difficult. I couldn't organize all the information. It was just too complicated. I couldn't do it, and I'd been trying for months. I probably missed multiple deadlines, and I was sitting at my computer, and I decided that I had to give up. I couldn't do it. And so I got up and went for a walk, and I was literally planning my exit. I was going through the steps. I was going through the checklist of quitting. I knew that I'd have to give my advance back to the publisher, because technically I'm in breach. I knew that I would be humiliated, but I was preparing myself for it, and that I would get over it. I was also rationalizing that it was okay to quit. I told myself there are thousands, 10,000 books published every single year. No one will miss this one book. And I literally went through the steps to prepare myself for what I had to do to quit.
The work you're doing is bigger than you. If you're thinking about quitting your Amazon selling journey right now, this isn't about now. This is about the future which you're building. You need to overcome the problem. You need to revive your motivation for your family. This is not about you. This is about your impact, your future self. Don't give up on your future self. Have you ever felt that you've had bad deals, or the buy box price of your stock is crashing due to maybe too much competition and you just want to give up? That is how Simon Sinek felt when he was writing his second book. The feeling of being trapped on how hard and how complicated it is to write his second book. Let's watch his video now.
I'm not sure why I did this, but I called a friend of mine who at the time was in the Air Force Special Forces, and I don't even think I said hello when he picked up the phone. I simply asked the question, what do you do when you can't complete the mission? And as is his habit, he just started telling me a story. He was a helicopter pilot, and they had a mission in Afghanistan that was a suicide mission. All the intelligence showed that the air defenses were just too great, and none of them were going to come out alive. And it wasn't going to be one of those kill Hitler missions where we're all going to die, but we'll kill Hitler. This is like, we're all going to die, and the mission will also fail. And he was preparing his helicopter for this mission, and his wingman turned to him and said, what do we do? We've got wives, we've got kids. Do we refuse to go? What do we do? And my friend turned to him and he said, this is what we signed up for. We go. He asked me, he said, is this book more or less powerful than Start With Why? I said, the research has impacted me greater. It's more powerful. He says, all right, I'm going to tell you a funny story. Before I met you, I'd become disillusioned with the Air Force and I was going to quit. And I found this kooky little book called Start With Why, and it completely re-inspired me. And I decided to stay, and I'm a better leader now than I was before because of that book. And if you're saying that this book is more powerful than the first one, then we need this book. He said, this is what you signed up for. You have no choice. clearly his mission was scrapped at the last minute. The underlying message of this is what you signed up for, you have no choice, wasn't a mean message. The underlying message was, and I will be here with you. The underlying message was, no matter what, you can call me at any time. I've got your back. And that's the important part. I turned around, went back to my desk, and finished writing that book. Not that night. I mean, it took me months, but I never thought of quitting ever again. As soon as I knew that someone was there, someone had my back.
When something difficult is being done, it is normal for some of us to feel like giving up. Sometimes when we feel that burden of difficulty of doing something, we tend to start thinking of giving up because the urge of wanting to be in a safe place emerges in our minds. Now, I remember back to Q4 2020, every Amazon seller was excited, their sales were increasing, even me on my business, until that day when Amazon suspended my account and withheld my funds for almost 2 weeks. That moment made me reevaluate my whole entire Amazon journey. As Simon Sinek said, we will start to feed our minds with excuses that will kill us every time. I love how Simon envisions this problem and the impact that his decision to quit will have. Now let me stress what Simon said. What gives us the courage to keep going when we want to give up is the people around us. We tend to think of giving up because we lose hope or confidence in ourselves. What we don't know is that there are people at your back that admire what you're doing. Your wife, your husband, your children, and your future self, they have got your back. As I reevaluated my thoughts, I realized that I have those people around me in my life. I have my team in my business and they support me even at my worst stage of my business when I was looking at giving up. I've got my friends and I've got you, other Amazon sellers, who support me through your support on YouTube and in our Facebook groups. It's those people which made me feel that I'm not alone in this journey. They are the people who have my back. Here and now, I'm enjoying my business more than ever, embracing the challenges with the people around me, such as you guys watching my YouTube channel. All you need to look for is those kind of people and you'll realize that just someone out there will motivate you. Someone that will remind you of why you are doing what you're doing, selling on Amazon. Now, if you are thinking of quitting now, comment down below and let us know who you're doing this for. Maybe if you're not thinking of quitting, you're doing this for a reason, just reiterate that to yourself, drop it in the comments down below. Now, I have to admit this, when I see someone who is achieving something in the same field as me as that I'm doing, sometimes I feel envy at times. Not always, but sometimes I do. Now, I understand if I can just distance myself from that part of the emotional aspect, this envy, should we say, then we can use that as fuel to fire ourselves to work harder and to grow our business better. Now, have you ever felt that when you see someone else's revenue maybe on their posts is higher than you, maybe you feel insecure, maybe deep inside you're thinking, how did he do that? Why can't I have that kind of revenue? Maybe you're thinking you should give up. In the second video I want to talk about now, Simon Sinek also experiences this when he started to compare himself with another established writer, and he talks about that battle in his mind.
Look, human beings, we can't help ourselves but compare ourselves to others. And comparison is the deadliest thing we can do to ourselves, because we will always come up short. And
Right.
all it does is exaggerate all of our insecurities. It's okay to enjoy other people's success, but you let them live their lives and you live your life. Oh, and by the way, they're curating their social media. That's not really their life. And so you're making decisions based on how you feel, based on their curated things. I know, I've talked to so many millennials. I know somebody who's out of work, really depressed, and yet she goes and does all these things so she has the appearance of this amazing, successful life. And so you now she may be making those decisions based on what her friends. Oh, who knows what sort of weird, twisted, exaggerated, circle of depression this is forming. So go back to the rules of the infinite game. Your friends are there to admire. Your friends are there to say, God, I'm so happy for them. What are they doing that I can learn from? I'll give you an example. So we can all fall into this trap. So in my business. Authors and speakers and folks like us, we're all comparing ourselves to each other, and sometimes it can get silly and competitive. And there was, sometimes I go on Amazon and I check the rankings of my books to see that I still have a job. And now and then there was this one author who I hated for no reason. He's very smart. His work's incredibly good. He's incredibly well respected. I respect him, but I hate him. And I would check the rankings of his books. And when I was ahead, I'd be like, And when he was ahead, I was like, right? It would drive me crazy. And I had this weird abstract competition. Mm-hmm. Same thing, right? Social media happened to be Amazon rankings.
Right.
And I would check in all the time. I'd always check in, mine, his, nobody else, just mine and his.
As we achieve something, it triggers our emotions to achieve more. This triggering will make us envious when we compare our achievements to someone else who maybe has done better than us. What makes it worse is that it can increase our envy when we fail and see someone else did better than us. Back when I started selling on Amazon, I was selling IT equipment, and like every beginner on Amazon, I was excited and enthusiastic. But as time passed, my enthusiasm and excitement started to fail. Why? Because I was not achieving the profit that I expected I should have, and because I saw other Amazon sellers achieving more than me, and I started a battle in my mind comparing my results to their results, just like Simon did. Now, I won't lie, there were times when I felt frustrated, and also I felt envious that other people were ahead of me, and I felt that I'd worked damn hard and I should have been there. But you know what I should have done? I should have analysed what they were doing, as I can always see the things that other people were doing, and that would have made my results better. Now, Simon talks about this. The root cause feeling of envy for another person is that we see our own weaknesses and things that we have not done, which that other person has. That feeling or envy or insecurity will sometimes eat us alive. So one thing you might be asking is, what should we do when we think we feel this way? As we continue the second video, I love how Simon introduces someone who he is jealous of. And if you ever find yourself jealous of someone else, I'd recommend you introduce yourself like how Simon does in this clip. Let's watch it now.
Anyway, we were, I was at an event and we were interviewed together on the same stage. Mm-hmm. And the interviewer decided to let us introduce each other. So I went first. I had to introduce him, and this is what I said. I looked at him and I said, you make me very insecure. I said, because all of your strengths are all of my weaknesses. And every time I see you do well, it just reminds me what I'm bad at. That's how I opened up. He turned to me and he said, funny, I feel the same way about you. And now we love each other. Because I realized that he's really good at what I'm bad at. So by me getting to know him and really learning to love him, I'm realizing I'm getting better at those things. And I'm taking more pride in the things that I'm good at rather than thinking I have to be good at everything he's good at. Right? So it's healthy to grow our own strengths and rather than be intimidated by the strengths of others.
Now, don't compare yourself with other achievements. If you think that you're the only one who battles results with other people, then you're wrong. What you don't know is that they are also battling you in their minds. And like Simon, they also envy you as they reflect on the things they don't have and their weaknesses. Make the success of others your fuel for your growth. If you feel envy, make it your drive to work harder on your own Amazon business. To continue my story, I told my friends what my problems were at that time, and I asked them, what can I do to achieve more profits? It was Q4, and at that time, they suggested toys were good items to sell, and from that moment on, I started putting my effort into online arbitrage, selling toys, and the rest is history. Now, that leads me nicely on to here I am right now, and while I still see other people's successes and I still see my weaknesses and what I'm not doing, I continue to learn from other people's successes and from my own mistakes, and I feel better for that, and it continues to surpass my targets in my business, such as my £1 million journey. Always remember, there are things in which the person you envy admires in you. You don't see these things, or maybe you're not aware of them, but they do exist. If you see someone else achieving better than you, don't compare yourself. You have something which that person doesn't have. We can't say what it is, but we are sure that it does exist. We are all on different paths. You are running a different race to me and everyone else. Now, before we go into the last bit of advice, what I'm going to suggest is if you are looking to improve yourself, maybe even get started on your Amazon journey, have a look at our FastTrackFBA free 7-day express course. You can learn the basics of online arbitrage, different sourcing methods, and keeper training. I'll drop a link below to that free course. Check it out now. So let's now go into our last video. Let me start with this question. What do you see in this picture? If your answer is you see a glass of water half empty, then somehow maybe you might be a person who tends to give up because you only see the hindrance or the problem that prevents you from achieving what you're doing. Sometimes to achieve something is to be a risk taker. We all started selling on Amazon with a goal in mind, and as we started our Amazon businesses, we started to see and experience how complicated the Amazon game is. Some of us endure this complexity, but also some of us feel like giving up, as they only see the glass is half empty. They get overwhelmed by how strong the buy box competition is, how hard it is to find profitable deals, and so much more. In our third video, Simon witnessed this kind of thinking in his friend and realized there are two kinds of people in this world.
Let me tell you a story. So a friend of mine and I, we went for a run in Central Park. The Roadrunners organization, on the weekends, they host races. And it's very common at the end of the race, they'll have a sponsor who will give away something, apples or bagels or something. And on this particular day, when we got to the end of the run, there were some free bagels. And they had picnic tables set up, and on one side was a group of volunteers. On the table were boxes of bagels, and on the other side was a long line of runners waiting to get their free bagel. So I said to my friend, let's get a bagel. And he looked at me and said, the line's too long. And I said, free bagel. And he said, I don't want to wait in line. And I was like, free bagel. And he says, nah, it's too long. And that's when I realized that there's two ways to see the world. Some people see the thing that they want, and some people see the thing that prevents them from getting the thing that they want. I could only see the bagels. He could only see the line.
According to Simon, there are two kinds of people in this world. One is someone who sees what they want, and then one is only sees what prevents them from getting what they want. Which one of these two people do you belong to? Comment down below, let me know your thoughts. I'm really interested to see. Are you a glass half full or a glass half empty kind of person? Whenever I go to Amazon forums, whenever I'm researching for my YouTube videos, I always see sellers who post their complaints about their Amazon journey. Some of them are afraid to see the solutions suggested by other sellers, and they're afraid to lose their business. We can't blame them. If that is what you feel, but for me, this is a business, then the only question is that I'm asking myself is how do I make this business grow? And I ask you, how much of a risk taker are you in your business? Listen to Simon's thoughts on the terms of risk taking.
I walked up to the line. I leaned in between two people, put my hand in the box, and pulled out two bagels. And no one got mad at me. Because the rule is you can go after whatever you want. You just cannot deny anyone else to go after whatever they want. Now, I had to sacrifice choice. I didn't get to choose which bagel I got. I got whatever I pulled out, but I didn't have to wait in line. So the point is you don't have to wait in line. You don't have to do it the way everybody else has done it. You can do it your way. You can break the rules. You just can't get in the way of somebody else getting what they want. That's rule number one.
As Simon said, you can risk breaking the rules so long as you don't hinder someone else's progress. Simon risked not following the line, but he got the bagel that he wanted. He may have sacrificed the flavor he wanted, but the point is still achieved to get the free bagel that he wanted faster. It's all about how balanced you are at taking risks. You can't always take a risk because it could jeopardize your Amazon business, but how is your business going to grow if you never take any risks at all? How will you grow your Amazon business if you stuck to the one sourcing strategy? It's just not going to work. We have to keep taking new risks to grow our business. Being goal-driven is good, but being balanced with the fact that you will encounter situations which you need to take risks to grow your business is more important. What is good about the message here is that for Simon to get the free bagel that he wanted, he would have had to wait in line, but he was willing to sacrifice the flavor and just jumped in and got what he wanted, still the free bagel, but he took a risk by jumping the queue and he got the result he was after. Always remember that change is a constant thing in this world. Always evaluate your goals and reflect on the challenges you have. We have plans to achieve them, but we can't define what can happen along the way. Be prepared to take a risk and to sacrifice so long as you don't harm other people. It's all part of you achieving the goals that you want to achieve. Now, we always call it the Amazon game. Why? Because selling on Amazon is a challenge. It doesn't mean that you've achieved your targets, like everything else will fall into place. Like I said, change is the most constant thing in the world. You can never tell what may happen after you've achieved a certain goal. The point here is don't give up. The challenges or failures you face are just a piece of the whole Amazon journey. Your goal is not worth it without challenges and risks. If you find this video helpful, click the like button below, and hey, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a video around here about 3 mindsets that you can learn from billionaires that's going to help you out. But for me, Thomas Parkinson, thank you very much.